वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for this short talk on improving our chanting by knowing the glories and glorious results of this process of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In the next few minutes, we'll discuss from a very beautiful shloka by Srila Vyasapad in the Padyavali. Actually, Rupa Goswami compiled several beautiful shlokas from various authors in his shloka book called Padyavali. And in that one beautiful shloka by Vyasapad very beautifully glorifies the whole process of chanting the holy names of Krishna, and also gives us 8 glorious results or benefits of sincerely chanting the holy name. Now we are going to discuss them. In fact, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, there is no other way, no other way, and no other way other than chanting the holy names of Krishna, especially in this age of Kali. There are so many methods of attaining the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the previous yugas. Krite yadhyayato Vishnur Tretayam yajato makhaihi Dvapare paricharyayam kalau tadhari kirtanat. In the Krita Yuga, means in the Satya Yuga, the process of self-realization or the process of reaching the Supreme Lord is to meditate for a long time, for hundreds and thousands of years. Krite yadhyayato Vishnur Tretayam yajato makhaihi. In the Treta Yuga, the process of self-realization is yajato makhaihi, by performing sacrifices. Dvapare paricharyayam. In the Dvapar Yuga, the process of self-realization is to perform paricharya, means to worship the Supreme Lord and serve the Supreme Lord, treating him like a king. Like in short, it's like deity worship. But kalau tad hari kirtanad. In Kali Yuga, chanting the holy names of Lord Hari is the best means to reach the lotus feet of the Lord in the spiritual world. And that process of chanting the holy names of Lord Hari gives us 8 great results when we sincerely chant. Let us see what are those 8 results. The shloka says, Vishnor-namaiva pumsaha shamalapaharat punyamutpadayaccha ब्रह्मादिस्थानभोगात् विरतिमथ गुरोः श्रीपदद्वन्द्वभक्तिं तत्त्वज्ञानं च विष्णोर्इह मृतिजननभ्रान्तिबीजं च दग्ध्वा सम्पूर्णानन्दबोधे महति च पुरुषं स्थापयित्वा निवृत्तम्. In this shloka, we see that the process of chanting the names of Lord Hari is so potent in various ways because it bestows 8 glorious results. Vishnor namaiva pumsaha means when we chant the names of Lord Vishnu, the divine names of Lord Vishnu, it benefits us in several ways. Number 1 is Shamalam apaharat. It destroys our sinful contamination. I will just list these 8 effects, then we'll go to each effect and elaborately discuss. Second, Punyamutpadayaccha. This process of chanting Krishna's names gives us punyam, spiritual piety. Third, Brahmadhisthana bhogat viratim. It creates indifference towards any kind of enjoyment available even in the position of Brahma also. Fourth point, Athaguroha Shri Padadvandva Bhaktim. The process of chanting the names of Lord Hari also increases our devotion to the lotus feet of Guru. Fifth, Tattva Gnanam cha Vishnoha means the process of chanting the names of Lord Hari can give us philosophical knowledge about the Lord. Sixth, Ihamriti Janana Bhranti Bijam Chadadha. Mriti is death, Janana is birth. So, the process of chanting the names of the Lord can terminate our cycle of birth and death. We'll discuss more details. That's the sixth effect. Seventh effect is Sampurnananda Bodhe. The holy name of the Lord makes us aware of what is supreme bliss, what's the greatest bliss. Eighth point and the last point, Mahaticha Purusham Sthapayitva Nivrittam. Holy name of Krishna can reinstate us in our original constitutional position as the servant of the Lord. So these are the 8 effects of sincerely chanting the names of Lord Hari. Now let's revisit these 8 effects and discuss them in greater detail. First point, Vishnor Namaiva Pumsaha means when we chant the names of Lord Vishnu, it first destroys our contamination. That's the first effect. Shamalam apaharad. Shamalam means contamination, faults, defects, impurities in our heart. Apaharat means these impurities are completely destroyed. They are purified. So Shamalapa Maharad means sincere chanting of the names of Lord Hari destroys all impurities and purifies us from all our sinful desires and sinful actions and sinful reactions. It is only because of the impurities in our heart, namely false ego, namely lust, envy, pride, greed, exploitative mentality, trying to take advantage of the situation and cheat others to get benefit for oneself. This is impurity. Cheating propensity is an impurity. And contemplating on so many sense gratificatory desires, greed for name, fame, prestige, money, wealth, trying to accumulate that money even in illegal means, trying to attain power and position by stepping on the heads of so many deserving people, sidelining them or superseding them. So these are all these political tendencies. All these are impurities in the heart. Lust, intense lust, desire, material desires. When the desire or kama is fulfilled, we will not stop pursuing our desires. Our desire will become greed. It may begin with a reasonable desire, but when the desire is fulfilled, it can become lobha. Kama becomes lobha. Means my desire is fulfilled. Now that creates more desire to get some material commodity or fame or prestige or wealth, etc. So fulfilled kama leads to lobha and unfulfilled kama leads to krodha. When the desire is not fulfilled, we become angry. When the desire is fulfilled, we become greedy. So kama, when it is not fulfilled, it becomes krodha, and kama, when it is fulfilled, it becomes lobha. This is impurity in the heart. Like that, there are hundreds and thousands of impurities. But by sincerely chanting the names of Krishna, names of Lord Hari, the heart is purified of all this material contamination, material desires. In fact, it is because of this material desires we perform material actions, and because of the material actions, there are material reactions in the form of suffering, klesha. As Kunti Maharani says, Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bhi Shravanasmaranarhani karishyan iti kechana. Bhavesmin klishyamananam. In this world, people undergo so many difficulties because of avidya. Avidya means ignorance. And that ignorance induces kama. Kama means material desires. And that kama leads to karma. Karma means material actions. And that karma leads to klesha, suffering. Avidya, kama, karma, klesha. But this material contamination of material desires are completely destroyed by sincere chanting of Krishna's names. Means when we chant Krishna's names, when we sincerely chant Lord Hari's names, we will not be inclined to enjoy in a material plane. Our lust diminishes gradually. Our greed diminishes gradually. Our illusion is destroyed gradually. Our anger is subdued gradually. Eventually, they'll become zero to the degree the chanting is sincere. So, the first result of sincere chanting is Shamalamapaharad, means it destroys all impurities in the heart. Purification. Second point, Punyamutpadayaccha. Punyam means piety. That's a general understanding. But there are two types of pieties. What are the two types of pieties? Material and spiritual. What is material piety? Material piety means you perform some karmakandic sacrifices or tapasya or some yajna, vrata, vows, etc. and accumulate some kind of punyam that takes you to heavenly planets or even in this earthly planet that gives you high grade enjoyment. So that punya which gives us high grade material enjoyment is material punya or material piety. Then what is spiritual piety? Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Shravanam, hearing about the Supreme Lord Krishna. Kirtana, chanting his names, glorifying his Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, that is Kirtana. So this Shravanam and this Kirtanam gives us spiritual piety, spiritual Sukriti, right? Not material Sukriti. Material Punya gives us, Bhautika Punya gives us material enjoyment, more opportunities and more facilities to enjoy in a material plane. But spiritual punya or adhyatmaka sukriti, that gives us entrance into the spiritual world, that takes us beyond this material world. So chanting is a very, very pious activity, not material pious activity, spiritual pious activity. It creates transcendental spiritual credits for us. Punyamutpadayaccha. And when we accumulate so much of spiritual credit, transcendental spiritual credit or spiritual piety, that brings us closer to the Lord. While a materialistic person counts how many rupees I have accumulated, 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, or $1, $2, $3, okay, $10,000, or $1 million, or $10 million. So, like that, they keep on accumulating money. Of course, it could be, it's required for survival in this world, but that should not be the only aim. While a typical materialistic person takes pleasure in accumulating more and more money and counting that money, dollars or pounds or whatever, a spiritualist accumulates more and more spiritual piety by counting the names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One may think, we can just chant the names of the Lord. Why to count? What's the need to count these names? Counting is required. Even the Goswamis were counting. Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Natibhir. Sankhya Purvaka. They are counting the number of rounds they are chanting. Even Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was counting and chanting on his beads. Even the great acharyas like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and we have Haridas Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, all these great acharyas also, while they're chanting Krishna's names, they also counted them. Of course, you can chant without count also, but we should always have a prescribed count, a basic count. We can chant 16 rounds. And some beginners may chant 2 rounds or 4 rounds or 8 rounds or whatever. You commit to that count. If you don't have that commitment to some minimal count, probably we may think that, yeah, I have been chanting in the mind long time, but by the end of the day, we may end up chanting only 2, 3 rounds probably. Right? We may not remember the Lord so much. So let's not be overconfident. Let's take a bead bag. Let's take beads, japamala with 108 beads, and then count how many number of times are you chanting and keep a basic count. So we generally chant 16 rounds, and others can chant according to their capacity. So count, and that will give us spiritual piety, right? So let's accumulate that. That's basically pleasing Krishna. Then third effect is Brahmadisthana bhogat viratim ath guroh Shripadadvandva bhaktim. Now, rati means attraction, obsession, attachment. Virati means lack of attraction or detachment. You have no interest in it. When there is no interest, it's called virati. So, this disinterest is towards what? Brahmadisthana bhogat. So, sthana means position. Bhoga means enjoyment in that position. So, enjoyment is available in so many positions in this material world. Amongst all those exalted positions, the topmost position is Brahma's position. So, Brahma is the first created being in this universe, and he is born from a lotus flower that sprouted from the navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and Brahma sits there. It's the topmost position. There are 14 planetary systems in this world, in this universe. Uh, the upper planetary systems are Bhuloka, Bhavarloka, Svargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. Satyaloka is the topmost. And that position is considered the topmost position in the entire universe, isn't it? Indra's position is there. That is in the like Svargaloka, which is like 4 planetary systems below Satyaloka. And by the way, within one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manvantaras. And in each Manvantara, there is a separate Manu. And in each Manvantara, there is one Indra. There are some sets of Devatas, Saptarshis. These are all posts, they keep changing. That means within one day of Brahma, 14 Manus come and go. There are 14 Indras. There are 14 sets of Saptarshis. There are 14 sets of Devatas. Means, although Indra's position, the position of the ruler of Svargaloka is so exalted, still Indra can rule Svargaloka maximum for one Manvantara, which is like a 14th part of one day of Brahma. You can just imagine how powerful Brahma's position is. But by sincerely chanting the names of the Lord, even Brahma's position also doesn't excite us. Because any exalted position in the entire universe is not so exciting to a devotee. A devotee does not aspire to become Brahma or Indra or Chandra, Varuna, Vayu. No position. Yamaraj, no position. Because you see Vritrasur in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vritrasur offers this prayer. Nanaka prishtham na chaparaveshtyam na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kankshi. Nanaka prishtham. Our Vritrasur is saying, I am not interested in any position in the Svargaloka. Nacha parameshtyam. I don't want Brahmaloka also, which is superior to Svargaloka. I don't want the position of Brahma also. Nanaka prishtam, nacha parameshtyam, na sarva bhaumam. He does not want rulership of this entire earthly planet also. Na rasadhipatyam. He doesn't want any position in the lower planets also. Fine, you have rejected any exalted position in all the 14 planetary systems, then what do you need? You want yoga siddhis, mystic powers? Because when you have mystic powers, you can go to any loka. You may not have position, but you have no restriction. You can go to any loka. You want yoga siddhis? He says, na yoga siddhir. Oh, then what do you want? You want liberation from this material world? Apunar bhavamba. I don't want liberation from the cycle of birth and death also. So Vritrasura rejects all these things. Why? Samanjasatva virahaya kankshi. Oh Lord, you may be the source of all great opportunities. You can give all kinds of benedictions, but I don't aspire for any exalted position in the entire universe because I'm in separation from you. Only love for you, only reconnecting with you gives me happiness, nothing else. So, in short, the third result of sincere chanting is we develop detachment. We develop detachment for any exalted position in this entire universe, including Brahma's position. So, detachment is a very, very rare opulence to attain. It's not so easy to attain detachment in this field. Even if we create little bit, say somebody managed to create a building. He constructed a building with all the money that he has earned through hard work. Once that building is made, there's an attachment to the building. Somebody just purchased a pen, right? There's an attachment to the pen. You have to take care of things, but taking care is one thing, but there is an attachment. Uh, and somebody attained a position, a powerful position as president of some area, some institution, or head of department. In an institution, there are so many departments. He becomes head of one department, or he may become a minister, or he may become uh, chief general manager of certain section in an institute, in an organization. Any position can give us some kind of kick and sense of control. Some people report to us. So that position gives us so much of excitement, happiness, power, right? But to be detached from them, all these positions is not so easy. But uh, chanting Krishna's names will give us that vairagya, viratim. Not that positions are bad. We need to accept responsibilities in life. And that responsibility comes with some kind of position or designation, an exalted role. Fine, good, occupy the role, take the responsibility. But responsibility should not become undue attachment. And detachment does not mean irresponsibility also. You occupy the position, no problem, but also maintain a spirit of detachment. Ultimately, any position in this entire creation is temporary. The position that I should aspire for is a position at the lotus feet of Krishna. So we should not lose focus on our ultimate goal of, of attaining Krishna Prema. Do the needful in whatever position you have, but don't lose focus on the ultimate goal. And sincere chanting of Krishna's names helps us not to lose focus on the ultimate goal and be detached from any exalted position in the universe, including Brahma's position, Indra's position, and other positions. That's the third effect. Fourth effect. Ath guroh Shripadadvandva bhaktim. Now, Guru means spiritual master. Sri Pada means the beautiful feet of Guru. Dvandva means two lotus feet. So, bhakti means devotion or dedication or attachment. So, by sincerely chanting the names of Lord Hari, we will develop sincere devotion towards the two beautiful lotus feet of Sri Guru. It strengthens our devotion and dedication and obedience and submissiveness to the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Guru gives us instructions, spiritual instructions. And when we chant the names of Lord Hari sincerely, we will be able to execute the instructions. Guru has a demeanor, Guru has a personality. And when we chant Lord Hari's names, we will be attracted to that personality of Guru. We will develop more deeper devotion and bonding towards Sri Guru. Guru instructs us to chant the names of the Lord, and by chanting the names of the Lord, we will be more fixed up in our devotion to Guru, in our obedience to Guru, in our submissiveness to Guru, in executing the instructions of Guru. So our relationship and bonding with Sri Guru increases the more we chant Krishna's names. Krishna, a guru is meant to bring us closer to Krishna, but Krishna, in the form of his name, brings us closer to Guru also. See, by Guru's grace, we get Krishna, by Krishna's grace, we get Guru, and by Guru's grace, we get Krishna. So that's how Guru and Krishna work in collaboration to help us in spiritual advancement, to purify our consciousness. So the more we chant Lord Hari's names, the more we become devoted to Sri Guru. Very wonderful effect. Then fifth result or fifth effect. Tattvajnanam cha Vishnor. Tattvajnanam. Jnanam is knowledge. Tattva is truth or philosophy. Tattvajnanam cha Vishnor means philosophical knowledge connected to Sri Vishnu. By chanting the names of Lord Hari, we'll develop philosophical knowledge also. Lord Hari's name bestows spiritual realization and deeper understanding of scriptures. We should not think that our understanding of scriptures depends only on systematically studying the scriptures. That's required, of course, no doubt. We have to put some effort. We have to do some swadhyaya. We have to sit with the books. We may take a pen and paper and take notes also. We may recite the shlokas. We may learn the meanings of the shlokas. We can go through the purports given by Srila Prabhupada and many other wonderful Vaishnava acharyas. We can study very well. And we understand Shastra. But our understanding of Shastra is not just a product of our systematic study or swadhyaya alone. Our understanding of Shastra also depends on how attentively are we chanting Krishna's names. Because when we are chanting the names of Krishna, we are trying to keep Krishna in the center of our lives. Very important point. Conditioned souls in this material world, they are here because they want to keep themselves as center of their lives. I'm the doer. I'm the controller. I'm the performer. I'm the master. I'm the proprietor. I'm the enjoyer. So this is the tendency of a typical conditioned soul in this world. But the more we chant the names of Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the more we chant like this, the more we come out of that self-obsession, self-centric nature, self-infatuation, self-absorption. The conditioned soul is typically absorbed in one's own self. And the conditioned soul will come out of that self-absorption by diverting one's attention towards chanting Krishna's names. Krishna is the center of my life, not me. I should be thinking more about Krishna by chanting his names, not about myself. I'm so tiny. So that kind of understanding we'll get because of Krishna's name, chanting Krishna's names. So the more we chant Krishna's names, the more we'll be able to understand the Lord, because Krishna's name and Krishna are not different from each other. Krishna and Krishna's name are same. So when we chant Krishna's name, we are in the presence of Krishna. Of course, to feel that presence, we need some purification. Right? At sadhaka level, when we keep ourselves awake while chanting, that's a big thing. But ultimately, when we sufficiently advance in our chanting, in our realization of Krishna, we will completely realize the non-difference between Krishna and his name. When we say Krishna, we feel the presence of Krishna when there's sufficient purification. And how to purify ourselves? Chant! When we chant, we purify ourselves. Then when we are chanting, we'll be able to feel the presence of Krishna. But whether we are feeling the presence of Krishna or not, whether we are chanting the name with happiness or with excitement or as an austerity, as an obligation, somehow chant. When we chant the names of Lord Narayana, Lord Krishna, Lord Hari, what happens is the Lord thinks, although this devotee is not so happy or excited or interested in chanting, still somehow this devotee is pushing himself or herself to chant, to keep up his or her commitment to complete 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra or whatever may be the number of rounds. So this devotee is committed to the process of chanting. And although this devotee is not finding so much taste or happiness or excitement and enthusiasm in chanting, still he's managing to chant every day, morning 16 rounds, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. He's dozing off sometimes, but still again he's getting up and chanting. He's trying to keep himself or herself in the association of devotees and requesting other devotees, Prabhu, when I'm sleeping while chanting, please wake me up. And the devotee next to him sees he's dozing off like this, and he says, please get up, chant, chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Again, he'll go to sleep. Again, this devotee will wake up, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Like that, taking support of Vaishnavas, we somehow try to keep ourselves awake in chanting. So this effort, this sincere effort that we are putting while chanting, although we are not relishing it yet, the sincere effort will attract Krishna's grace. Krishna will think, he's putting so much effort. Let me give this devotee some taste. Let me give this devotee some interest and some enthusiasm, some absorption in the chanting process. So that will help us attract Krishna's grace. And because Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different, once you chant the name of the Lord, you will be able to understand other aspects of the Lord. Philosophical knowledge of the Lord, you will be able to understand. This Nama gives us entrance into Rupa, Guna, Leela. I am not saying this. Sanatana Goswami says this. He says, in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, he says, Atayeva Nama Matra Vaishnavera Dharma Name Prasphutitahaya Rupa Guna Karma. Atayeva Nama Matra Vaishnavera Dharma. The dharma of a Vaishnav is to just chant Krishna's names. And that Nama, Name Prasphutitahaya, that name will give us entrance into Rupa, Guna, Karma. Rupa means form of the Lord. Means the more we chant Krishna's names, the more we'll be able to understand and appreciate Krishna's form. Then Guna, second. The more we chant Krishna's names, that will give us entrance into understanding Krishna's qualities. Third, Karma means activities, Leelas, pastimes. The more we chant Krishna's names, the more we'll be able to understand Krishna's pastimes well. Name prasphutitahaya rupa guna karma. This is what our scriptures are saying. So, in this fifth effect, we see that Tattva Gnanam cha Vishnor, the name of Lord Vishnu or Lord Hari, Lord Krishna, that will help us understand the Tattva Gnana, philosophical knowledge about the Lord. That includes Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. The more we chant Krishna's names, the more we can understand the scriptures, understand Gita, understand Bhagavatam, understand philosophy, understand Siddhanta, Tattva. And if you understand the Tattva of the Lord, what will happen? Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. After giving up this body, we don't have to take birth again. If you understand Krishna's tattva, if you understand the divinity of Krishna's appearance and activities, and how to understand the tattva about Krishna, chanting Krishna's names. You want an example? See Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj just chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He just chanted this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, the name of Lord Vasudeva. How long? 6 months. A 5-year-old boy for 6 months chanted one name of the Lord, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, one mantra. Then Lord Vishnu came there. He appeared in front of him. He gave him darshan. And Dhruva Maharaj, a 5-year-old child, he does not know so much of philosophical knowledge at this moment, but he wanted to offer prayers to the Lord. Spontaneously, he became inspired to offer heartfelt prayers to the Lord, just to seeing the Lord. But he does not have the ability to offer prayers. He doesn't know so much. 5-year-old child. Then the Lord took his conch. His mouse, not conch, but the Lord took his conch and touched the forehead of Dhruva Maharaj. Just like USB transfer or whatever. Entire philosophical knowledge about the Supreme Lord is revealed to Dhruva so easily. Effortlessly, he understood the entire philosophy. How did this happen? Just by chanting the name of Lord Vasudeva. Just by the chanting, he could understand entire philosophy of scriptures. So, of course, in our case, we may not have the Lord coming and touching his punches in a conchal to our forehead. It can happen also for some very fortunate souls. But the point is, when we sincerely chant, we will understand Tattva of Krishna. We'll be able to understand the scriptures very well, right? Those who are struggling to understand some technical sections of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, or even basic philosophy, just chant. Read the philosophy, along with the chant sincerely, then that will give you understanding of the philosophy. Next point. I think I'm going very slow. I'll speed up. Sixth point. Ihamriti janana bhranti bijam chadadha. Iha means in this world. Mriti means death. Janana means birth. Bhranti means illusion or bewilderment. This whole birth and death cycle creates a lot of bewilderment, or it's a product of bewilderment. And what is the source of that bewilderment? Bijam. The seed or the source of that bewilderment is ignorance or ajnana, right? So, dagdha, that seed of ignorance is burned to ashes. In short, this process of chanting Krishna's names burns ignorance completely, which is the seed of illusion that binds us to the process of birth and death. Ihamriti janana bhranti bijam chadagdha. So we will be coming out of this cycle of birth and death when we chant Krishna's names. And the root cause of that cycle of birth and death or that illusion is our ignorance. What is that ignorance specifically? I'm ignorant of how to operate a phone. I'm ignorant of how to drive a bike. I'm ignorant of how to drive a car. This is not ignorance. Of course, that may be ignorance on a material plane. Yes, I don't know. I don't know this. I don't know that. I don't know that. On a material plane, we don't know so many things. That in that sense, we are ignorant of so many things. But that ignorance is not a great ignorance. But the real ignorance is that we don't understand that we are spirit souls. We don't understand that we are servants of Krishna. That is real ignorance. All the other aspects or facets of ignorance are just offshoots of this real ignorance of our spiritual identity as servants of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishna Nitya Das. The real Swarupa of every Jiva is to be a servant of Krishna. But we are ignorant of it. And because of that ignorance, we are completely bewildered. And in that bewilderment, we are wandering in this cycle of birth and death. And to terminate the cycle of birth and death, to terminate that bewilderment, to destroy that ignorance, to burn that ignorance, we should chant Krishna's names. The more we chant, the more ignorance is destroyed. And the tenure in this cycle of birth and death is also terminated. Right? So that is the sixth effect. Then, seventh effect or seventh result of chanting the names of the Lord is Sampurnananda Bodhe. Sampurna means complete. Ananda means bliss or happiness, joy, pleasure. Bodhe means to understand. We are to become aware of. We'll become aware of what is true bliss. Most people in this material world are not even aware. They don't have the basic awareness of what gives them complete bliss, what gives them happiness, real happiness. They think that money gives them happiness. Some people think that name, fame, prestige gives them happiness. And some other poor souls, they think that if I have 10 million followers on Instagram, that will give me happiness. And some other innocent people may think that if I eat the most delicious items in the best restaurant, that will give me happiness. Yes, all these things can give us happiness in some way, but that happiness is on the level of body or mind or intelligence or ego. But what is Sampurna Ananda? What is complete and true spiritual bliss? That happens on the plane of soul, spiritual platform. We can experience that complete spiritual bliss not on a bodily plane, not on a mental plane, not on intellectual plane, definitely not on egoistic plane, but only on spiritual plane. Only in our relationship with Krishna as a sincere servant of his lotus feet. कृष्ण दास अभिमान ये आनंद सिंधु कोटि ब्रह्म सुख न है तारा एक बिंदु Krishna dasa abhimana. The abhimana or the conception or the emotion of being a servant of Krishna is like Ananda Sindhu, it's like an ocean of Ananda. Very soon we are going to celebrate this Kartik month, And every day we are going to sing Damodarashtakam. In this Damodarashtakam, Satyavrata Muni says, Iti driksvalila kunde स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तं मख्यापयन्तं तदीयेषितग्नेषु भक्तैर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे इतीदृक्स्वलीलाभिर् आनन्दकुण्डे means Krishna is performing such enchanting and sweet leelas like Damodar Leela, Govardhan Leela, Kalyadaman Leela, so many such leelas. By performing such leelas, Krishna is immersing all of us in a pool of bliss, in a pond of ecstasy, in a nice water reservoir or lake of spiritual happiness, spiritual pleasure. Right? That is the real pleasure. The pleasure that we derive on a material platform, on a bodily platform, like tongue derives some pleasure in tasting a delicious item. Ears derive some pleasure in hearing some pleasant music. Hands may derive some pleasure when you touch some soft objects. Nose may derive some pleasure in smelling some sweet fragrance. Eyes may derive some pleasure in seeing some beautiful objects or people. Men become very happy. Their eyes become very happy when they see a beautiful woman. And a woman will become very happy when they see handsome men. That's all on a material plane, right? But the real happiness is experienced on a spiritual plane in one's relationship with Krishna. And by chanting Krishna's names sincerely, we'll become aware of the real happiness. What can give me complete bliss? We'll become aware of it. We'll become conscious of it. We'll become knowledgeable about that spiritual bliss by sincerely chanting Krishna's names. Mm. It gives us the process of chanting gives us an understanding of true spiritual bliss. And now the last effect, eighth one. There are many other results of chanting, but this one shloka gives these 8 benefits. So last one, Mahati cha purusham sthapayitva nivrittam. Mahati means our glorious position. Mahati cha purusham means all the conditions also here. Sthapayitva means to establish there, to position us there. So the process of chanting Krishna's names will restore us to our spiritual constitutional position, will establish us in our eternal identity as servants of Krishna in the spiritual world, at the lotus feet of the Lord. Right? The holy name, the process of chanting the holy names of the Lord can take us to the spiritual realm permanently. That is the prayojan to attain Krishna Prema. Of course, if Krishna decides that a devotee stays in the material world only to do some preaching work, to preach the glories of the Lord to his devotees, of course, then the devotee can stay in this material world also, but in spiritual consciousness. Staying at a place does not mean staying at so and so geographical location only. Staying at a place or residing at a place is basically according to one's consciousness. Prabhupada says, Vrindavan is not just a geographical location on the map. Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. So when we are conscious of being servants of Krishna, in our heart, when there is no lust, no envy, no pride, no enjoying propensity, in the heart of our hearts, if we just consider ourselves servants of Krishna, we just want to serve Krishna with absolutely no expectation in return. We just want to hear Hari Katha. We just want to chant Hari Nam. That gives us complete bliss. Then we are in the right position. That's our eternal constitutional position to take pleasure in Krishna Seva, Krishna Nam, Krishna Sankirtan, Krishna Aradhan. And holy name will reinstate us in our original constitutional position as servants of Krishna. So chanting is not just a ritual, but it's a complete spiritual process. We should not chant like a ritual or as an obligation or some kind of mechanical activity. It's a complete spiritual process that culminates in giving us Krishna Prema. So we have discussed 8 effects of chanting the names of Lord Hari. So we will revisit them once again. Before we conclude, we will recite the shloka once again and remember what all we have discussed. Vishnurnamayva pumsah Shrava Shamalamapaharath Punyamutpadayaccha Brahmadisthanabhogat Viratimatha Guroh Shripadadvandva Bhaktim Tattvajnanam cha Vishnor Ihamriti Janana Bhranti Bijam cha Dagdha Sampurnananda Bodhe Mahati cha Purusham Sthapayitva Vivrittam. Let me show the shloka once again, and we will remember the meanings of all of them in one glance, in 1 minute. Just 1 second. I opened that slide. This one. Vishnur Namayva Pumsaha, when we chant the names of Lord Vishnu. First effect is Shamalamapaharad. Our sinful contamination is completely eradicated. Second effect, Punyamutpadayaccha, will get great spiritual piety. Third, Brahmadisthana bhogat viratim, we will develop detachment or disinterest in any kind of enjoyment, bhoga, available even in the position of Brahma, which we don't want any exalted position in the entire material universe. Then fourth, Atha Guroho Shripadadvandva Bhaktim, means we will develop devotion to the two divine beautiful feet of Sri Guru. Fifth point, Tattva Gnanam cha Vishnu. We will also develop deep philosophical knowledge. We'll understand the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela and Tattva Gnana of Lord Vishnu. Sixth point, Ihamriti Janana Bhranti Bijam cha Dagdha, means the bijam, the seed of ignorance that causes bewilderment uh, and the cycle of birth and death is burned to ashes when we chant Krishna's names. Seventh, Sampurna Ananda Bodhe. We'll become aware of complete spiritual bliss. We'll become aware of what exactly matters to us, what truly matters to us. And the last effect is Mahaticha Purusham Sthapayitva Nivrittam. So we'll be relieved, we'll retire from this material positions and we'll be reinstated in our original constitutional positions as servants of Krishna. These are the 8 results of sincerely chanting Krishna's names. So let us try our best to chant Krishna's name sincerely and derive these 8 benefits. And I seek all your blessings so that I can also sincerely chant Krishna's names and experience these results, not just speak about them, but also try to imbibe them. So I need your blessings. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.